Hello Tax Fam, it's your friendly neighborhood taxman here to talk about all the things related to business, accounting and tax. So this year, I've promised myself to release more consistent content for you all. So be sure to like this video and leave a comment because I can save you money and educate you on taxes. Let's face it, you'll be paying taxes for the rest of your life and the only way to avoid paying any taxes is to die. So if you're planning to die soon, don't bother following me. But if you aren't, then make sure you subscribe. The other day, I was speaking to a new client and going over their previous year's taxes. While on the topic of old accountant, he blurted out, "Look, I know this may sound rude, but sometimes I feel like accountants are trying to scam me. His fees are ridiculous and I pay so much in taxes every year and he doesn't even do anything for me." It was hard for me to reply to this because I don't know both sides of the story. You have to also understand that accountants have spent 5 or more years studying for university and postgraduate studies to fully grasp how accounting and tax works. Not to mention the years of experience working in accounting as well. I do believe that if you don't value your accountant's work, he or she is not always a scammer. They're probably just not compatible with you. You may prefer someone who just lodges taxes for your business and does not require any advice at all. But one thing's for sure, not all accountants are trying to scam you. And then a few days later, I read this article. So maybe there are accountants around who are scamming businesses, which now means I need to show you how to figure out if your accountant is scamming you. But scamming is quite a nasty word. The definition of a scam is a dishonest scheme or fraud, which I feel like sometimes can be confused with bad communication. And then businesses tend to think that the accountant is scamming them when there is no clear communication between them. For example, the client provides the books to the accountant to prepare the tax return. They agree on the fees. However, the books were a complete mess and required double the amount of time to fix it, so the accountant spent double the time and double the fees. If you look at it from the point of view of the client, they expected the fees to be X amount, but now, after the work is done, it costs double the amount in fees. And if they do not pay for the fees, they cannot get their taxes lodged. So sometimes they feel like they've been cornered by their accountant. I can totally understand why business owners feel like they've been scammed. But if you look at it in the point of view of the accountant, they did double amount of work to clean up the mess created by the client. And I don't know about you, but we accountants hate dealing with messy books. It takes longer to fix a messy book rather than starting from scratch again. The accountant has to spend twice as long to fix the problem, and now they have to deal with an unhappy client who doesn't even want to pay at all. So it kind of sucks both ways. Firstly, if you're an accountant watching this, you need to communicate better with your clients. I feel like mechanics are good at communicating with their customers. Well, most of the time anyway. But if you bring a car to a shop, they will assess the job and provide a quote. Once the customer agrees on the quote, the mechanic works on the car. And while working on a car, if there are any problems or extra work needed, the mechanic will notify the customer before getting the work done. There's a clear communication between the customer and the mechanic. If the client doesn't want to pay for the extra work, then the mechanic does what's only agreed, both parties are happy. The hard part about this with accounting is that clients generally don't understand how accounting works at all. So accountants have to explain it to their clients, but at times they just don't get it. Other times, accountants don't bother explaining this because it's just too difficult to understand. I don't generally agree with this, hence why I create so many videos explaining complicated topics. I think it's important for clients to be educated and taught on how we do our work, so there's a bit of transparency between the two of us. But how do you spot an accountant that's trying to scam you? What you need to do if you're a business owner is to educate yourself on accounting and tax. Luckily for you, I create a lot of videos that explain really complicated accounting and tax concepts, but in a simple and easy way to understand. And that's why you should like and subscribe. So, if you're running a business and you feel like your accountant may be scamming you, here are a few pointers to see if you're in fact being scammed. Number 1, is the accountant actually working on your books or file? Most likely your accounting software will be on the cloud, which means that you can track who and when your accountant is logging onto your software. If your accountant says that they've been working on your file when there has been no login statuses from them, then there's something wrong, because how could they be working on your file when they haven't even logged onto your file? Number 2, Is your accountant not providing any explanation on the work and charging fees that are ridiculously high? Then you should be worried. I would recommend you asking other business owners to gauge on the prices that the accountants are charging for taxes to see if it's fair. Don't be afraid to even ask your accountant how long it should take to do the work and what their charge out rate is. You're paying them to do the work and you should have the right to know. It also prevents any misunderstandings in the future. By the way, if you engage your accountant to prepare a personal tax return for you and you do not specifically say you want a 1-hour meeting with them for tax planning and structuring, then please don't expect more than a tax return, because you're just gonna get a tax return. Number 3, is your accountant not sending you any forms and tax returns for you to review and sign? If you don't receive anything other than an invoice from the accountant and a pay slip on how much tax you need to pay, then something's wrong. Your accountant should not be able to lodge tax returns without getting your approval first, which means they need you to sign and return the tax returns. If you've not received any returns or letters from them, they could be lodging your taxes incorrectly and you wouldn't even know. Number 4, is your accountant holding all the documents and not providing these to you when you want them? I hear a lot of scary stories where accountants disappear or ghost their clients, and the business owner is stuck with their accountant until they respond to him. This is seriously a scary situation. If you see that your accountant's not responding and not giving you the documents that you require, then please look for another one, because in the long run, this can cause serious issues for your business. The accountant may not be a scammer in this case, but they may unintentionally withhold your documents from you, and it costs you loads of money and time chasing the accountant. If taxes are then lodged late, you may have to deal with penalties as well. I feel that accountants that disappear on clients are the ones you should avoid. If they're going to disappear on you, then they obviously don't care about your work. So what should you do if you're seeing any signs that your accountant may be scamming you? Firstly, you need to educate yourself on what your accountant is doing for you. 9 out of 10 of the times, it's generally a misunderstanding between the business owner and the client. So it's good to first understand exactly what your accountant is working on, how long it takes, what steps they need to take, and what they need from you. We always encourage our business clients to do one-on-one training with us on any topics they wish to go through. In the long run, it can save you loads of time and loads of money. It's also important to have a clear communication between your accountant and you. You're paying their fees, so don't feel like you're bothering them. If you don't feel like they're calling you back or giving you enough attention, then it's best to have a chat with them about your expectations. It's good to set the expectations as early as possible so there are no misunderstandings later on down the track. Another good idea is not to rely heavily on your accountant. Get yourself access to the tax department as well. In Australia, you can access the tax business portal, which allows you to lodge your BAS returns, update single touch payroll, lodge your taxes, and update details for your business. If you have access to this, you can see what has been lodged by your accountant, what is also outstanding, and how much taxes you are paying. This way, you can do a check if the work is actually getting done. Make sure you also get a second opinion from another accountant to see if the work and fees are fair. I see clients stick with their accounts for too long and don't bother changing or asking around. This can cost you thousands every year. Getting a second opinion could take more time and money, but it's worth doing because it can prevent you from sticking with the wrong accountant. Lastly, you should do your bookkeeping in-house. This is not a must, but I encourage all my clients that bookkeeping should be done internally. It doesn't have to be done by the business owner themselves. They can hire a bookkeeper to do it. However, the accountant and the bookkeeper should be a different party. That way there's a segregation of duties and not just one person that controls all your business finances and taxes. You're basically flying blind if the accountant disappears on you. So there you have it. If you've had any problems with your accountant before, see if any of these points may help your situation. If you're struggling and want to ask me anything, feel free to leave a comment below or slide into my DMs. My socials are in the description box. I'm always trying to improve my service and understand what small businesses want. See you guys next time.